Hi everybody, it is Carrie and welcome to a Tiny Tip Tuesday. So today I thought I would talk to you about embossing folders and different ways to use them. This one is from, I just had it and I put it down. I believe it's called Dots and Checks. Oh, here it is. It's a 2-folder set, and you've got checks and dots. So, and they are smaller folders. These will run through the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, in case you're wondering. So right now I'm going to be showing you a couple of things with the checked style. I've already pre-embossed them just because, to save some time. But I wanted to talk to you, other than about folders, about basic white versus very vanilla. So, I did a couple of things. I don't know how many of you know that you can actually take an ink pad and rub it on, or I would say gently tap it onto an embossing folder, and it will color, in this instance, all of the squares that are up if you don't press too hard. If you press too hard, you're going to get stuff in the center too. But you can do that. And I did that on, this is Just Jade. It's one of the in colors that will be around until the end of May. And so you can see it does not give you a super crisp check. I mean, I think maybe if I had taken my time and been a little more careful, blah, blah, blah. If you are one of those, knock yourself out. But I'm like a let's get her done kind of a stamper. So here it is on Whisper White. And here's a piece of the cardstock. And you can see it's a tiny smidgen darker, just because it's direct to paper, which it's not exactly that, but it's basically direct to paper because the ink was very strong on the folder. So, but it's pretty close. Now let me show you. This one I actually backed it. This is on Very Vanilla. Now at first you think, well, it matches. Look, Carrie, but guess what? Surprise! That is not the same color. This is actually on what is it on? Shaded Spruce. So on Very Vanilla, it got a lot darker. So that was my one of my tips was be prepared for that if you're going to use Very Vanilla. I mean, I think it's still very cool. I don't think one is, better than the other per se, but I just want you to be aware that that happens. So here's something that I did. And I'm going to show you how I did this on Very Vanilla. But I took the ink and you can see it's very gradated, which I really like it. It kind of looks worn. That got away from me right there a little bit. But yeah, I think it's really, really kind of cool like that. I'm grabbing something I forgot, like you guys are all surprised, right? So one of the things I forgot to do here was to put on some Post-it notes. So I'm going to do that with the Very Vanilla so you can see it's pre-embossed. And I am going to take a Post-it note and just kind of line it up with the bottom here of the checks. I'm not going to panic if it's down a little bit, especially since I'm on video and it's kind of hard for me to see. Like now, see, I have better lighting. I can see that it's not quite where I want it to be. So scoot it up a little bit more there. That's close enough. And then try to match it. So at least, even if the line isn't exactly where I want it, it's at least kind of a straight line. Okay, so now I've covered that up, and that's to keep me from getting this schmutz down here. Oops. Now I'm going to take my, an old sponge dauber. Well, a new sponge dauber works too. You could do this with your blending brushes, but they're very big, so I find you get a little bit better with a sponge dauber. But you want to be careful because the sponge dauber is going to give you a really dark mark like that. So you're going to want to ink it up, kind of brush it off a little bit, and then gently Gently, don't get too excited. Now you can see I'm going in there a little bit. I'm getting it a little dark in places, which is fine. If you want to, like have that look, like see how it's lighter now. And so then where it's darker, that's fine. You can actually make that kind of your thing. It's maybe fading out. Was that my intention? No, it wasn't. But it's what happens. So there, now you see I like it. I mean, I kind of like it not being perfect. And I can see where there's like, I could go back through where it's light, but I kind of like it. I'm hoping you guys do too. So now I'm going to peel that off, but I want you to see how different it is. Even where I've got it darker, it's different on Very Vanilla versus Basic White. And that's totally okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and stamp a sentiment from, what's the name of my favorite stamp set for sentiments as of this point. I like a lot of sentiment sets, and there's some killer ones coming out in the new fall catalog. So I'm using from Peaceful Moments, and I am going to, whoops, I don't need that. I'm going to ink up this one here, and I'm just gonna, I'm gonna put it off. Life is better with a friend like you. And you see on this one, I did thank you. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, this is actually the coolest ribbon. I love this ribbon. This is our braided ribbon, and it comes in Just Jade. It's $6 for 10 yards. What I think is cool about it is it will stretch. So you can stretch it out if you want to. And then you just pull it, So if you put this on this card, it looks all right. And it'll even look all right on the card base. But I'm probably going to do something a little different with this one. So let me show you what I decided to do with the one that's on the Basic White. I am going to mat it on a piece of Basic Black, and I forgot to grab my adhesive, so give me just 1 second here to pull that out. There we go. And I'm just putting some of our Stampin' Seal on the back. And actually, if you look at the back, this was where I was practicing. You can see somehow I put my sponge topper right there. So I just flipped it over, because it's basically the same design on both sides. And then I'm just matting this in Basic Black. I love how Basic Black just pops stuff. I just think it does. Now I think this needs a little bit of a trim, so I'm going to scoot it over here, and then I'm going to get my paper trimmer, and I'm going to trim this off a little bit. As you guys know, I definitely do kind of wing it sometimes when I'm making cards. Because, I know all the basics. I've been doing it for so long. I know that, what's matted with what. But sometimes I trim something down and I don't really know what the measurement is until I mat it, like here. So now I matted it. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a piece of this gorgeous braided ribbon that I truly love. I wish it came in every color. I'm not kidding. That's how much I love it. And I am going to do my not so famous trick anymore, because I do it all the time, so you guys have seen it, where I put adhesive on the back of this before I put the ribbon on. It would help probably if I moved this Stamparatus small grid paper out of the way. And then I am going to actually put this over where I schmutzed a little bit, so nobody will know that I kind of screwed up a little. Well, you will if you get this card. Okay, so I could take this and I could mat it just plain, but what I did was I ran the card front through the folder twice. I started here, and then I just I started here, sorry, and then I just rematched it and came down to where it was and redid it. So now I've got the awesome checks in the background. It's fairly subtle. I mean, somebody may not even notice that I've done that. They may not even see it. But I know I did it, and I think it gives texture. I really like it. Now this would be just as cute. I think I'd have to trim this one down, obviously, because it's not the same size. But this would be just as cute on there, right? Cute, cute, cute. I didn't realize how off that was when I put that on there. Now I tied a bow. Look at this bow when you use that ribbon. Look at this. Why? Well, first of all, I have to trim this a little bit more because it's not quite the same size. But see how it did that? I just think it makes the bow cooler when it sort of splays out a little bit. I don't know what word to use, but I'm going to say splay. And then, of course, you know I like to use tear and tape to hold my bows in place. So I'm going to put that on here. And then I don't want this flip-flopping around, so I'm just going to take a little bit of my adhesive, maybe, and just put a little bit right there, just to hold that in place. You know, I don't like it when the ribbon is loose, and then you put something on it, and then the whole thing is loose, and it's crazy. So, and then you just carefully peel the back. Oh, I came up with this really cool idea on how to do this so you can find it better, and I forgot to do it. I'll do it the next time so you guys can see that. I'll do it on another tiny tip. And then I'm going to set this over here. So, do you like it? It's a fun card, right? Remember, it's dark in here, so you're going to want to put a piece of basic white on the inside. So there are my tips. I wanted you guys to see how different it looks on basic white versus very vanilla. It definitely changes the color a little bit, so, which is fine. Just fine. I was just telling my girlfriend the other day that I don't use very vanilla enough, and you're going to start seeing it more because it's such a cool color, especially with fall coming. I know we don't want to think about it, but this is when we start thinking about our fall cards, right? So you'll be seeing a lot more of the very vanilla. Anyway, I hope you said hello. I hope you've told me where you were from, gave me some likes, some thumbs up. If you do not follow me, and you're watching this live, please make sure you click that follow button, and please share this video to be in a drawing next month for a free prize. Everybody who shares my videos and then comments below that you have shared, I will put your name in a drawing, and you get one with every share. So if you share all my videos, your name's in there a bunch of times. If you're watching this from someone's shared video and you'd like to follow me live, please go to facebook.com/Memory Inkers. If you know people who only watch YouTube, maybe they're not on Facebook, let them know that I'm also on Facebook, or not Facebook, on YouTube, as Memory Inkers also, and I always pop my videos over there so they'll be able to watch them as well. Bingo is coming up, so don't forget, if you're interested in the bingo or you have questions, let me know. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this tiny tip today, and have a fabulous Tuesday evening. I'll see you back here on Saturday for a Saturday sip. Bye, everybody.